Today in Algebra 1, we learned about how to use the order of operations to solve multi-step equations. This should mostly be a review because you learned this in 8th grade, but to do the order of operations, we want to use PEMDAS. And when we talk about PEMDAS, that tells you which order or which operation to perform first in a multi-step expression. Remember PEMDAS, we remember by saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponents. The M stands for multiply. The D stands for divide. The A stands for add. And the S stands for subtract. Remember, with multiply and divide and add and subtract, we do them in the order they appear. Or another way to say that would be from left to right. Those two mean the same thing. I just want you to realize if you see divide before you see multiply, that's the one you do first. Okay, let's look at some examples of this. Example number 1. -4 squared plus 24 divided by 3 times 2. There are no parentheses, so the first thing we're going to do is the exponents. Remember, yesterday we talked about if we have a number that's negative but does not have a parenthesis, we're going to do the exponent first and then reattach the negative on the front. So 4 squared is 16. We're going to reattach the negative and copy everything else down. The next thing we see as we go through is the division and then the multiplication. So we're going to recopy the -16. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And I'm recopying the 2. I need to do the multiplication. 8 times 2 is 16. And -16 plus 16 is 0. And that's my final answer. Example number 2. We have 4, open bracket, 25, minus 5 minus 2, close parentheses, squared, close bracket. We start with our innermost group of parentheses, which would be the 5 minus 2, which is 3, and copy everything else around it. Now we're going to do our exponent. 3 squared is 9. 25 minus 9, of course, is 16. And 16 times 4 is 64, and that's our final answer. We have 2 more examples, just 2 different special cases. Example number 3 is 21 minus x plus 2 times 5, when or for x equals 7. The only difference if I'm given a variable is if I have that x equals 7, I'm going to go back and plug that in. So I have 21 minus 7 plus 2 times 5. The first step here is to multiply 2 times 5. So I have 21 minus 7 plus, and 2 times 5 is 10. And then I do it straight across, subtract and then add. 21 minus 7 is 14, plus 10 is 24, and that's our final answer. Our last example for today deals with absolute value, and that might be a symbol that you've forgotten about. Remember, absolute value just means distance from the origin or distance from 0, or maybe easier said, take the positive of. So if it's a positive, leave it positive. If it's a negative, make it positive. We're doing the absolute value of 10 minus 5 squared divided by 5. We treat the absolute value signs just like parentheses and do what's inside of them first. And you see the exponents. We're going to do 5 squared, which is 25. 10 minus 25 is negative 15. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. And 15 divided by 5 is, of course, 3. Assignment A3 is a clock assignment where you're going to go through and make up 12 problems with answers 1 through 12 using PEMDAS. If you need help, let me know, and I will be happy to do that.